Extremes that you would consider taking up arms for Islam?
No, I would not, me personally, I would not strap bombs on my body and I would not call others to do so. But Islam orders me and obliges me to strive for my religion, to strive for Islamic way of life and to defend my sanctity and my property.
But I mean... Listening to our conversation was another local Muslim. He took exception to Abu's views and interrupted us.
If you live in a land which is Darul Kufr, land of non-Muslims, predominantly, you're advised, if you're going to live within it, you have to respect and live by the law of the land. If you're going to get all the benefits, the free education, the free medication, the free, the dole, for example, then, you are accepting handouts. You should go maybe to Egypt.
That's exactly what I hear from the BNP.
Well, hang on a minute. I mean, he's made a very strong point. You do not feel British, you don't accept British law, but you've accepted a free education at Islington College.
No, this was before I was practicing Islam. After I practiced Islam...
well, that was very convenient, wasn't it?
That's the way it was, isn't it?
So you got all your freebies and then you started practicing
Allah is
Islam.
the provider, not man. Allah is the one who provides. Allah is the one who teaches us.
Abu has found an increasing commitment to Islam. It reflects a tendency among young British Muslims to be more religious than their parents. This in marked contrast to the pattern followed by other groups such as Sikhs and Hindus. I'm on my way to see a professor to talk about what our survey tells us about the progress of the integration of the Muslim community. 12 years ago, Tariq Madood conducted a major survey of all ethnic minorities in this country. Is there evidence in some way from this survey that the Muslim community is aberrant when you come to look at the broad swathe of immigrant communities that have come to Britain in the last 50 years?
I think Muslims do stand out. Broadly speaking, as people settle, they become anglicised in this particular respect. That is to say, they wear their religion more lightly. But not for Muslims. Political identification with Islam has definitely grown, and has grown more amongst young people, and has grown more amongst educated people.
Comparing our survey with the one 12 years ago, it seems the process of integration for Muslims has come to a standstill. Islam is providing a powerful alternative path for young Muslims born here, a quite different direction to the one being taken by this country. By whatever measure you judge it, Britain is becoming a more liberal society. We drink more than any other country in Europe. Sex outside marriage is the norm. The law sanctions equal rights for women and for homosexuals. In part 2, we'll see where the morals of British Muslims come into conflict with the rest of the nation. And we'll be asking whether those differences are driving Muslims and non-Muslims further apart. Do British Muslims have different values from the rest of the nation? Many British Muslims define themselves by their religion and are openly critical of the liberal morality that they see around them. But whilst British values and Muslim values may be different, are they really incompatible? Nothing symbolises the difference more than the veil. To some, it's a clear indication of the oppression of Muslim women. To compare the opinions of Muslims with those of Britain as a whole, we conducted a second survey of over 1,000 Britons, and we discovered that over half the British population think Muslim women are treated as second-class citizens. Ruqia is a 24-year-old health worker in a hospital outside Manchester. When she was 21, she decided to wear the veil or niqab. It's a sign of her commitment to Islam. What do you say to those people who might think that the veil was a symbol somehow of oppression, that in fact you're denied liberation?
I mean, stereotypes do come from reality as well. However, that is not the teaching of Islam. A lot of people have asked me in the past, did your parents force you? Are you married? Does your husband make you wear the niqab? None of which applies to me. It was a decision that I came to, my own desire to find out what it is to be a Muslim woman.
But Ruqia is aware that wearing the veil does make her stand out. But we live in a society here in which identity is paramount because of fear of terror. Do you feel easy wearing the veil in a society which is essentially unveiled?
Where I have suffered from verbal abuse, which is very Islamophobic, I have had fleeting thoughts, well, because I am living in a society where this isn't the norm, that is why this is happening.
But it seems that you're setting an extra hurdle which actually makes it difficult for people to communicate with you.
Are you finding it difficult to speak with me?
It's not that I'm scared or wary of who you are, it's that I actually long to see your face.
But that is the purpose of the veil, that you shouldn't, which is why I wear it.
But I won't visit any harm on you if I see your face. It's you perhaps are scared of me.
No, that's not how I think or why women are prescribed to cover.
You walked here, you said, well, I burnt off some calories. I thought it was interesting that beneath the veil there's still the same concern that most people have.
I'm a normal, average girl with the same sorts of concerns and issues that everybody would about their waistline.
Well, I've never interviewed anybody through a veil before. I'd rather, in a way, she didn't wear it, because obviously when you communicate with somebody, it's a full facial thing, lips, cheeks, expression. But I wouldn't say she's oppressed. In fact, covering the head, whether fully, as in the veil, or partially, as with the hijab, turns out not to be as indicative of oppression as commonly supposed. As far as most Muslims are concerned, it's for the woman to decide.
You can't force anyone to wear hijab. That's not promoted by Islam. All Islam does is encourage, and it's out of your own free will.
And 2 out of 3 women said they did not feel they were treated as second-class citizens. Those who grew up in this country felt even less oppressed. Muslim attitudes towards equality between